kind of psychic work before? You've done psychic work before? You are. I'm just warming up the crowd myself.
She's warming up the crowd for herself. But no, I thought there might be some people coming in because she's nice and warm to warm up. But it's always a pleasure to leave the expo with a little extra knowledge, a little extra vitality and insight, because that's why we're here. We're here to collect knowledge, come on in, to awaken to spiritual possibilities. So you want to talk to someone, you want to hear someone who's put it all together into a package that is cohesive, understandable, and something you can take home with you. That's the thing. You see a million people here, but you want something to take back, not just like stuff dribbling in your mind. Come on in. Come on. We're just here. Gail Thackeray, right here. I'm not Gail Thackeray, but no, I couldn't even be. No, I couldn't be. But I could be. No, I couldn't even be. But my name's Alan. But we're all one. He says we're all one. But depends. Yeah, have a seat. No, it's an intimate sort of thing. Michael, are we shooting this? Oh, we're rolling this. Okay. Okay. How are you feeling? Are you glad you came?
Oh, so glad. It's the best thing ever.
Gail?
Diane.
No, but Gail. Gail. Well, anyway, I won't hold you up because we only have a limited amount of time, but I'm really happy that Gail Thackeray has been here doing her workshops and bringing the mystic possibilities into our lives, because we're here to all wake up, and Gail's part of that path of waking. Let's give Gail Thackeray a big, big hand. Thank you, love.
Thank you, Alan, darling. And if you don't know, Alan has an amazing show. They can see it on YouTube, cable.
Realities. Gail has been a guest, and we've talked about some great stuff. I want you back on that show, okay?
Absolutely.
All right. I'm happy. And I'll see you in New York, right? So what are you talking about today?
We're talking about developing our intuition. So all these people in here are going to be able to read people.
Good. That's what I'm saying. We want them to take it back home with them. It's not like they just picked up a piece of paper. This is practical applications of their life.
Yeah, I'm going to teach them, and I'm going to sit back and watch. So I'm not working today. These guys are going to be working.
All right. Well, you work hard.
Thank you.
3 workshops. You had a good expo?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Yay! So some of you have already done some psychic work, right? And some of you have not done anything, right? So since it's a small group, just tell me a little bit about what you've had an experience with psychic abilities. You want to start? What's your name?
Well, I'm Diane.
Hi, Diane.
My daughter's Shauna, and we have a lot of psychic telepathy between us.
Yeah. So just naturally psychic. Yeah. So we'll be bringing that out. So you're an energy healer, and you already know whether you're clairsentient or clairvoyant, which is great. You can leave the door open because I know we have a couple more that are on their way in. Thanks. Okay.
Well, you taught me Reiki.
So you came to my previous workshop and did Reiki with me. So you're already a powerful being.
Even said so. Then we did past life regressions last year.
And you've done past life as well.
Then I went to QHHT school and became level 1 practitioner. And
Awesome.
I've been in a mediumship circle, bringing messages for whomever in the circle it belongs to.
I love that. So he's been involved in a mediumship circle, and that might be something you might want to think about doing, just to practice on people. When we've done this, practice on some friends and some other people, so you're not so worried about, whether you get it right or not. You really need to have a go at practicing a lot, just more for your confidence. Yeah?
Well, I've had multiple recent experiences. I've telepathy, and I think I'm channeling, but I don't have any really firm foundation in it.
Okay. So you got natural abilities. We'll bring those out. Yeah?
I'm just an observer of what she's going through, so as a result of that, I'm open.
You're open, yeah. Sometimes people are like, I'm not here really, I'm just here with them. And then they're like the ones, whoa, having this powerful experience. Dean?
More for myself, don't really have messages for other people, but I feel that I'm on the path and being at the right place at the right time.
Dean's come to me, to John of God, we went together, and to some other places, so, yeah. I know, that's why I'm repeating it, it's okay. Okay.
So today, I keep seeing these reoccurring numbers. When I first got up, I go to just grab a quick bite. My goal is 111, 4 ones.
So you keep seeing numbers, 111, 444. Who else sees numbers? Okay, so that is a sign from either your angels or your guides, and they're telling you something. Sometimes it's just, hey, wake up and look, we're here, just be aware. And sometimes it's numbers that mean something. Could be like somebody's birthday, somebody who's past birthday. How many of you sometimes find like a penny on the floor, pick it up? You look at the date, and sometimes that date will mean something. Either it's a date that somebody passed, or an important date, or it could be reminding of you of something that happened. So if you pick up a coin and it says, 2006, it could be a reminder of what you were doing in 2006, and you go, oh, okay, yeah, I kind of made that mistake. I should be careful not making that mistake again. So that's often messages from our spirit guides. Okay, so we work through different means of psychic abilities. We all have each of these psychic abilities, and some are a little bit more powerful than others. So some of us are more clairsentient. Okay, now, you poor things, because that's very, very difficult. Right, this lady over here, you're clairsentient. The lady in the front here, you're clairsentient. What this means is that you feel things, right? You do it too, right? So people come up to you and they're like, oh gosh, I don't know why, but I can talk to you and I can tell you all my stuff. And I just really feel like I can, have a talk, good talk, get it all out. And then I get up and, I feel much better. And what you're doing is you're being very empathic and you're feeling their energy, but sometimes you take it on. So they leave and they feel great after talking to you. And you're feeling like, oh, why am I so tired and drained today? Right? Now, do you work with a lot of people? You do some kind of customer service? What do you do? You're a nurse, okay. Right, so you see, the thing is, you are constantly around people that have issues, physical issues, often emotional issues, right? So you're in there in the trenches doing this natural healing, and you're so empathic, you're taking on all this stuff. So in your energy field is not only your things that are going on, but everybody else's stuff you've picked up. So don't worry, we'll do a clearing on you. And we'll make sure that when we're using that psychic ability, which is great, hi, welcome, we're not going to take on other people's things. So we don't want to do a reading for somebody and then take on all their problems. So we want to be able to feel and sense, but we're going to put up a protection today. So we're only working with divine beings. When we pass over, you go up to the white light. And I'm sure your loved ones go right the white light, but sometimes people might want to stay around for a little bit for whatever reason. They're confused that they left, or they're angry about something, or they've got some emotional attachment. Can you turn it up a little bit? Is it too loud? Okay, so can you hear me now? Yeah, all right. Okay, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, so when you cross over the white light, some people decide not to go right away. They want to stick around, right? And so these are kind of lower vibrations until they've crossed and they've gone to a higher vibration. And so there are kind of lower energy, I won't say negative beings around us, but there are, people that past that are around us that are still on that earth plane. So we don't want to be, when we open ourselves up psychically, we're only going to communicate with beings from the white light. People have passed and gone to the white light and are able to come back and communicate with us. We don't want to be picking up everything. And this is why people say don't mess with Ouija boards and lower vibrations. So today we're going to put protection. We're going to make sure that we don't pick up anything from anybody else. And we're only working with beautiful beings. So nothing's going to be scary today. Okay, so there is clairsentience. And then there's clairaudience. So clairaudience is when you are picking up messages, you're hearing them. But you're not really hearing them. It's not like somebody comes down and says, okay, I've got this message. I need you to give that person this. You can't really hear them in your ear, but you kind of get a thought that it comes in. So if I said to you, what did you do for Valentine's Day? You kind of think for a second, right? You go back in your mind, and then it pops into your mind, right? It's like a thought that comes into your mind. It's like pulling up a memory. So it feels a little bit like that, and it feels a little bit like you're making it up, right? So when we start doing this work and you're getting messages, you may be thinking, oh, I'm just making this up. This is just coming into my mind. This is just my imagination. It's actually not. It's just that you're more clairaudient, so you don't feel it as much. Okay, who gets ringing in the right ear? Yeah. Okay, so that is actually spirit coming through, and they're coming through your ear. And if you're not listening to them, sometimes it will buzz and it'll get annoying. So that's like spirits coming through, like trying to talk to you, and you're not listening. So if you get that feeling, just go, okay, all right, what do you want? Just, quieten your mind and see if you get a message. But if you're clairaudient, like me, you're going to be thinking, I'm not getting this right. I don't know if I'm making this up, right? How many of you do that already? Yeah. Okay, so that's because you're more clairaudient. So it's harder to trust. Okay, and then there's those of you who are clairvoyant. That means you actually see things. But you don't see a ghost standing in front of you. I mean, if I saw a ghost standing there like flesh, honestly, I'd be running the other way screaming. And I have seen a few things that freak me out. And that's why they say, like, you go white and you buckle at the knees, because your brain says, this does not work. This person should not be here. This is not right. Right? So visualizing is more you see it in your mind's eye. So when you are talking to a spirit, and hopefully we'll be doing this today, you are seeing them. You're visually seeing what they look like. And you might be able to describe to your partner, oh, I've got a gentleman here, and he's wearing a three-piece suit, and he looks like this. And the client might say, oh, that's my grandfather, and that's the picture I have of him. Right? You didn't know that, and you felt like you were maybe making that up. You didn't see him standing there, but you saw it in your mind's eye. So that's clairvoyance. That's coming from your third eye. And those of you who are more visual in life, those of you who are more creative, you like painting and things, you're probably going to be more clairvoyant. And those of you who are more left brain are often more clairaudient. But we all have a bit of everything, and we're going to use all our different senses, but you'll probably find that in one area or another, you're going to be stronger in one way or another. Okay. All right, so we're going to do a couple of different things today. Would you like to be able to read people? Would you like to be able to actually read cards? Yeah? How about talking to people's loved ones? You want to be able to do that, or to be able to talk to your own loved ones? And what about just more direction in your life, like to be able to follow your guidance, to be able to follow your guides? Okay, well, sometimes we're a little confused as to where the information comes from. But when you are a medium, now to me a medium is somebody that is able to actually connect directly with a loved one, a person that's passed over on the other side. When you do that kind of mediumship, first you've got to be in a very high energy. To do any of this work, we're going to raise your vibration. And you have to get a really, really high energy. Those people, the angels, the guides, the people that passed over, they're up there in a very, very high vibration. They actually have to lower the vibration to come into us. And if it's somebody's loved one that's passed, they might not be used to doing that. Angels and guides kind of a bit more used to it. So they have to actually lower their vibration, and we have to get our vibration up so we meet them and we get on the same frequency. Right? So what happens is you ask for a loved one to come in. So you're reading for your partner and you say, I'm going to invite in anyone in spirit that wants to come in and talk for my partner. And that energy will come in. You have to get your vibration up. They will lower theirs. You get on the same frequency, and you can only hold that frequency usually for a minute or two, and then they'll fade away. Now, you can't say, I want to connect with my client's mother. She wants to talk to her mother. And there are psychics that say, you can come, I promise you I can talk to your mom. I promise you I can bring your brother through. For me, it doesn't work that way. For me, you say who wants to come in, and hopefully they will, because you both want that connection, but you may be surprised at who comes through. It may be somebody you don't even like. But if you didn't like them in life and they're coming through, they're always coming through with love. All this goes through with love. So when you get this connection, you're actually connecting in with divine source. You're connecting through this panel of where this light is just the most amazing, loving, awesome feeling. And you're connecting with that energy. So when you do this work, when you've really got that connection, you kind of get this rush of awesomeness. Hey, Hanson, nice to see you in here today. Yeah, we've got a couple of really good psychics in here today, so this could be mind-blowing. Okay, so when you connect with a person in spirit, you're connecting with them directly, you get your vibration up, they have to lower theirs, you get on the same frequency, and then there's this connection of love that comes in. And they're not there all the time. You ask for them, you ask if anybody wants to come in, they come in, and then there's this kind of like a download feeling. It might be subtle at first, you might not feel it at first, but when you get used to it, there's kind of a definite, I'm here, I'm connected, and you feel it. Now, some of you might feel a rush of energy, might feel shivers. Anybody get that kind of a sign when a spirit comes in and maybe says, oh, yes, that's correct, you'll get shivers, right? So sometimes it feels like that. Sometimes it feels like an energy shift, but usually you'll feel kind of like, oh, they're in. And then you can hold that energy and talk to them for a couple of minutes, and then their energy will just kind of dissipate and fall off. So it's a one-way street. You can open up and invite people to come in and talk, but you can't demand. It's not like a telephone. I can't go, hello, can I talk to Susie's mother? Okay, can you put her on the phone, please? No. They come through if they want to come through, and they will give us the messages. Now, sometimes the messages are not really profound. They're not coming through to say, hey, this is where the insurance is, you know, don't argue with your brother, take this paperwork, you know. Sometimes they will give you messages, but more often than not, they're just coming through to say, there is another side. There is another world. I am here, and I'm good, and I'm safe, and I love you. And that's usually all it is. And when you get that connection, often you get this amazing, amazing feeling of love. And you'll actually feel that. And some people even start, you know, their eyes will water. And, you know, I'd feel really silly because I'd start crying, but I'm not sad. And it's an energy connection. So if some of you feel emotional, it's not emotional, you're not sad, sometimes you'll tear up. It's actually a really good sign that you're really, really connected and you've got that authentic connection. So that is the highest. That is not that easy. We're going to have a go at doing that, but we're actually going to throw you in the deep end. That's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to try, see if we can have a connection with people's loved ones or somebody in spirit. Okay, then, if you were, say, to do tarot cards, say somebody comes to you and says, I want to know about my love life. What's going on with my love life, right? So, should I call in Susie's mom and ask about the love life? No, probably not. Probably, you know, calling in your mom is not the right person to talk about your love life, right? Okay. So, or your career decisions. Do you really want your mom talking about your, you know, really important business decision that you're asking about, right? So, often, like, when you're asking about more career path or love life or things that are going to happen in your future, you're actually connecting in with your guides. So each of us have a guide. Does anybody know who their guides are? Anybody met any of the guides or have a sense? Yeah? So we each have one special guide. That's a person that has been a human being, has had an incarnation on this earth, and they're here with us this time around to be our guide in spirit. And they know us, they love us unconditionally, they know everything that we're going through, and they help us, and they can guide us when we ask. But most of the time we don't ask, right? So they're helping, they're sitting up there twiddling their thumbs, going, well, you know, could have helped with that one, but ooh, that kind of hurt, but they didn't ask me for help with that one, right? Or sometimes we ask for help, but then we forget to look for what they're trying to give us. So sometimes we'll say, oh, I'm having a really hard time with this. I'm not sure which direction to go. Give me some advice. And then the spirits start opening doors for us. And people call us up and say, hey, would you like to get together today? I've heard about this workshop. And you go, oh, no, I'm too tired. That was a door that just closed, right? And the spirits are like, okay. They open another door, and somebody else says, hey, you know, can you help me this weekend? I need some help with on my computer. And that you go, oh, no, I don't want to really do that, right? So we keep closing these doors. So especially when you ask for something, you've got to look for it. Because often your guide doesn't just stand in front of you and tell you. And sometimes they can, but often the messages will come through somebody else. So when we start reading each other today, you might get some messages. Now, the energy that you're reading, when you're reading somebody's cards, what you're doing is you're reading their potential right now, their energy right now. So you could read somebody's cards right now, and it could be, you could say, okay, I want to know about my career. And you could lay it out and say, well, I don't know, there's this option A, which is not that great, and there's option B that's not that great. Yeah, it's kind of crappy. Okay, well, but you don't just do that. You say, okay, this is the options you have right now. So clearly, we need to clear some energy. Clearly, there's something going on that's blocking you. And then work with them on what can we do? What messages that can we get to help you, to give you a better option? So it's not just about what is going on in your energy right now, but what could you change? What would you like to do? How would you like your future to work out? And then what could you do to make that future work out? Okay, so when you're reading somebody's energy, reading somebody's cards, you're reading their energy right now, but we want to give them a very positive outcome as to what it is in the future. All right, so reading somebody's cards, somebody's future, somebody's love life or career, that is from a higher guide, from your spirits. And actually, you're talking to your spirit guide. Your spirit guide knows you very well. And so they can clearly give you messages and advice more than your client's spirit guide. So if I was reading Hanson and I wanted to tell him about what was going on right now in his career, I'd be asking my guide, because my guide, I know, understand what my guide's saying to me. I've never met Hanson's guide before. He may have a completely different language and be harder for me to connect with, right? So your guide is the one that's actually giving you messages. And sometimes other guides will come in. If your guide doesn't know the answer, the two guides will chat together, they'll bring in other guides and they'll give you an answer. But the two main differences between mediumship and connecting with spirits is you're connecting directly with that spirit. Whereas when you're reading more career and reading people's energy, you're accessing your guide. So it's actually, I find it a little easier to access your guide because you're used to talking to them all the time. Well, you might not be used to it, but that's your intuition. You're going along in daily life and you're like, oh, that was a good idea. Oh, I just decided that. Well, often it's actually not you. It's your guides giving you some information. So they are there talking to you all the time. Whereas loved ones, you're not, it's going to be a different kind of feeling. When you connect with your guides and you get used to doing this kind of work, you can use them often throughout your daily life. So as you're going along, you can check in and you can ask them as things come up. And that makes your life a lot easier. So when you tap into that intuition part of you, which is really connecting with your guides, as you go through business decisions, as you go through, relationship decisions, you can more easily tap into, and you can call it your higher self, you can call it your guidance system, you can call it your subconscious, but it's really all the same thing. I'm going to show you how to use pendulums a little later. And I asked my pendulum, I said, well, is this my higher self that's telling me the answers? Or is this my spirit guide or an external force? And they said, well, it's all the same thing. Your higher self is your spirit guide. It's all connected. All right, so I'd like to start by, let's meet our spirit guides, right? Who's met the spirit guide before? A couple of you? Okay. So if you've met them before, let's go say hi, check in, and get a little bit more clarity. And let's also talk to our guides about what are our strengths. Are we going to be more clairvoyant? How can they best talk to us? Are they going to be showing us visual things? Are they going to be giving us more feeling? Or are we going to be just getting a knowing or a sense? And so we'll ask our guides, which is our strong path and what's the best way of communicating? Do us some meditation music. Can you maybe go see if we can find somebody? Sorry, I didn't think about that. But we'll get some meditation music so we can do that. So we'll do that in a minute. All right, so we've got clairvoyance, which is seeing, visualizing. And today you're going to say to yourself, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to make it up. The hardest thing that you can do is to try, right? When you try it, I'm really doing it. I'm really trying. Okay, you're actually blocking it, right? It is a one-way street. It comes to you and it kind of flows. The energy kind of flows and you try to pick up what you can. So it's almost like playing charades. The spirits are up there and they are telling you, they're giving you visualization. They're telling you through hearing. They're giving you the feeling. They're giving you all the information, and it's kind of coming and passing by you, and you're trying to pick up as much of that information as you can. And so you might get little things. You might not get the whole thing. You're going to try visualizing. Right? So some of you who are good at visualizing, you may see things. And those of you that think you're not very good and you're more clairaudient, you're going to just have a go at visualizing. You're going to say, okay, if I had to guess who this person was standing next to me, what do they look like? And usually you can't see them all at once. If you try to just visualize somebody all at once, it's more difficult. So if that's hard for you, you start by saying, what does their hair look like? Just let me see their profile. Let me see their eyes. And you just see a little bit of them, right? And if you're really not getting anything, people say, oh, I'm blank, I'm not getting anything. Make it up. Use your imagination. I swear it's not your imagination. So you'll be thinking, oh, I completely made that up. You know, this is what that person looks like. And you'll tell your client, and they'll say, oh, that is absolutely my grandma, right? So you're going to have a go. You're going to relax today. You're going to tell yourself, if I get something, great. If I don't get something, it's fine. I am opening up the window. I'm starting the process. But just be really easy on yourself. The more you try and the more you force it and the more you're hard on yourself, that is actually blocking it. The key today is to get you out of this energy field. We're in this kind of solid energy right now. We need to raise our vibration to get to this really high place. And if we can, we'll get you high enough to be able to contact spirits directly. And in order to do that, you're going to get a bit woo-woo. You're going to be kind of out of your head. You're going to be a little lightheaded, and you won't be able to think properly, right? So if you're in that real state of connection, you can't walk out of here and drive a car and go to the supermarket and keep in that zone. Because if you do, you'll be walking around the supermarket going, oh, I have a message for you, and oh, I feel something on you, and I'm picking up all this stuff, and I'm all woo-woo, and I can't remember anything, right? And that's why there's some really great psychics that really go a little bit cuckoo because they can't remember anything. And if you stay in that energy zone too much, that's what will happen. And when I first started doing this work, I was loving it and practicing on everybody. And my kids were like, my mum's got Alzheimer's or something. She forgets to pick us up from school. She don't know where she is. She can't remember anything, right? So there's definitely a trade-off. You have to say, I am in my physical body, where we need to be to do our daily life and to have our own life experiences. And then, oh, now I'm off in La La Land. I'm doing my psychic work. So we definitely have a switch on, switch off. Marco, do we have some music? Thank you. So we are going to get in that state of being lightheaded, and then we're going to bring you down, and we're going to ground you again. And you can only hold it for a few minutes. That's fine. So what we'll do is we'll put the bubble of white light on us. We'll start to raise our vibration until you start to get in like a little bit lightheaded, a little la-la land. And then you're going to allow these messages to come. You're going to pick up whatever you can get. And then we're going to bring ourselves back down and ground ourselves. Right? When you have that high vibration, you can feel and sense a lot more. This is why you can get messages from spirit. Any of you energy sensitive, or you feel crystals and things like that? Yeah? Do you have a big crystal I can pass around? So some people are just naturally energy sensitive. Those who are more clairsentient, you can already feel things. So if I pass this around, if you hold it over your heart, you might feel like a real boom, 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 right? And what it's doing is actually raising the vibration of your body already. So even without doing anything, just a high energy crystal will start to raise your vibration and you'll feel it. So put it over your heart, pass that around. Those of you who are energy sensitive will feel it. Those of you more clairaudient, you might say, I don't really feel a whole lot. That's okay. Okay, so you'll feel the energy and that will raise your vibration naturally. These objects, blessed objects or crystals of high energy, you feel them. What you're feeling is you're feeling that energy raising. You're feeling your body start to vibrate at a higher and higher frequency, you know, and you combine that with your breathing work to get you up there, and you'll get your energy really, really high. But for some people, even just the energy of the crystal will do it. Now, when you're grounded and you're normal, some people can feel a crystal, some people cannot. When you are in that higher state where you're more energy sensitive, where we're hoping we can connect with spirit, hopefully you'll be able to feel that energy more. So during the day, what we're going to do is we're going to test you before when you're normal, when you're switched off, and see how sensitive you are to energy. And then we're going to try you again after we raise your vibration. Then you're going to touch some things and see if you're more sensitive. And some of you will be able to feel the energy. Even if you couldn't to start with, you'll be able to feel the energy. Do we have any music yet? That would be wonderful. All right, so we'll put the crystals down for a minute. We'll pass them around later. And let's just go into a little bit of that kind of higher vibrational state. All right, so close your eyes. And I want you to envision a bubble of white light around you. Yeah, like that. Ah. Just take a deep breath and let it all out. Feel your body relaxing in the chair. We put a white light around us because we're only working with beautiful divine beings, and that's all we have to say. We can say a prayer or say angels around us or cover us in white light. It's as simple as that. We're simply saying, I'm only allowing a connection to divine beings. And as much meditation and relaxation as you can do is really great to get you in this zone. Let's just imagine a ball of white light above your head and coming down over your head, and as it comes down over your body, becomes more and more relaxing. Cover yourself in this white light. Now to raise your vibration, let's start taking some deep breaths. Raising your vibration, get a little higher, a little lighter, and then releasing out all the worries, all the stress, saying, just for today, just going to let it go. Let's do a few of those. So just as you breathe in, you're breathing in, making your vibration higher, lighter, brighter, and then releasing out all your worries. Take a few deep breaths. And as you breathe in, you're breathing in that white light. You're breathing in that white light from divine source. You're breathing in that white light all around you and releasing out all your heavy stuff. And as you do that, you'll feel yourself getting a little lighter, a little higher. Feel your vibration getting a little faster. Until you actually allow your body, your spiritual body, to start raising up out of your physical body. So let's feel your soul energy starting to raise up out of your physical body, and just feel your spiritual body starting to drift up, leaving your physical body sitting on the chair. We're going to raise up your spiritual body higher, lighter, faster, vibrating at a higher speed, drifting up till you're drifting up out of the chair, up out of the room, up towards the clouds, floating, beautifully protected, feeling very light, until you're up there in the clouds and a door is going to appear in front of you. And when you're ready, you can open that door and go inside. And this is going to be your meditation space. This is a place that you can come to whenever you want to. So let's make this as comfortable as possible. So you can have a beautiful room with a view. It could be a view of the ocean or the mountains or a waterfall. Put some comfy furniture there. Put a nice comfy couch. Maybe you want flowers, nice artwork, crystals. Just make this a really beautiful place that you'd love to come to. And then sit down on your nice comfy couch. And let's invite in our spirit guide. Let's ask our spirit guide to come and sit on our right-hand side. Our right-hand side is our most spiritual side, so they'll usually come in to the right, but not always. So ask your spirit guide to come and sit down next to you, and just imagine that they're sitting there next to you. Now see if you can visualize them. And start by looking over and looking down at their feet. And just see what they're wearing on their feet. And then look up their body. Look at the clothes that they're wearing. And if you're having a hard time visualizing, just tell yourself, I'm just making it up. I'm just having a little story here. I'm just creating a little fantasy in my mind. I'm seeing this person sitting next to me. Look at their profile and their hair color and maybe their eyes. And then feel them. Some of you may feel them more strongly. Feel that love between you. This is your very special guide that has been with you since the day that you were born. They love you unconditionally. They know everything about you. And they love you. Every part of you they love. And feel that amazing love between you. And just sit with a minute and just talk to them. And you'll get a sense of their personality and who they are. And then ask them about your intuitive abilities, how they can connect with you. Tell them that you'd like to be able to talk to them, to be able to get message from them more clearly. And they're going to give you a gift. It's a box or a package, and it may be very fancy or it may be very simple. And within that box is a gift. So open the box, lift off the lid, and look inside. And this is a gift to tell you how you can communicate better. And you may see some things. You may see some objects. You may see a piece of paper with a message written on it. Or you may just see an energy, a light, or just even a feeling. And some people may have nothing at all, which is fine. They may feel like you don't need anything. And if you're not sure why they're showing you these things, ask them. And then thank them very much for this gift. You can put the lid on your box, and let's take that into your heart chakra. Accept that into your heart chakra. Ask them if they can tell you how you're going to be able to communicate with them more strongly. Whether you're going to be getting messages, whether they're going to be telling you through thoughts, clairaudience, or whether they're going to be giving you visualizations, or whether they're going to be giving you feelings. And then just give them a big thank you just for being with you, for loving you, for being with you on this life's path. And now it is time to go back down to earth because we've got a physical life to live. So we're going to say thank you and leave the room. And then gently, gently lower a vibration. And as you do, you will not be aware as much of your guide. You will not be aware of the spirit world as much. You're in a lower vibration. So slow your vibration. Coming slowly, gently, floating back down to earth. Becoming more and more physical because we need to be in the physical world. Until you gently, gently fall back into your chair. Feel your butt on the ground. Twiddle your fingers and your toes. And when you're ready, open your eyes and come around. And you can get up and stretch if you like. So that's a little bit what it feels like when we're going in that higher vibration. Now, I usually give a group attunement, but it's a very small group. So if you like, I can do a very quick little individual on each of you. Would you prefer that? Yes? You almost went unconscious. Okay, that's wonderful. Okay, so when you get up in that high vibration, sometimes you're going to go into la-la land. You're going to feel a little out of it. And some people may feel like they've gone to sleep. People have said, I didn't get anything. I just fell asleep, or I don't know, I just blanked out, right? You were seeing it almost like a third person. Yeah, okay, well, that's great. And there is a kind of a form of channeling, which is even higher, where being will come through and talk through you. But we don't really have to be worried about that, okay? And so usually people find it really easy to come back down. I have a harder time getting a high vibration. If you come back down and you don't still feel grounded, like maybe you don't feel grounded, just sit down. Just get in a chair, sit down, and just connect yourself with Mother Earth and just ground yourself for a minute. Or if you've got like a heavy earth stone, something like that will ground you. But most people don't have a problem grounding. Most people have a problem getting up there. But you should definitely switch on, switch off. You shouldn't be on all the time. Okay? We only want to be on when we're talking with spirits. When I first started doing this work, I had this opening, and then all of a sudden, these spirits were coming all night long. I couldn't sleep. And then I had to go back and say, okay, how do we turn this off? Because this isn't fun anymore. Right? So we want to limit them and say, okay, now I'm working on it. Now I'm going to raise my vibration. I'm going to connect. I'm just going to do it for a few minutes. And then I'm going to disconnect and come back down and ground myself again and be a normal person and not try to be in that high zone all the time. I will give you guys a little individual boost. I'll give you a little psychic opening. If you like that, I'll go around each individually and do that quickly and just open the psychic eye a little bit. Sometimes we get blocked. Sometimes we are powerfully, psychically powerful, but we gotten afraid to use it. Okay. After I give you the attunement, I'm hoping your vibration's going to go a little higher. But let me just quickly walk you through how you switch on and switch off, right? And then after I've attuned you, hopefully that will be even more definite, right? So when you want to start to communicate, the first thing we do is we do protection. So we put a bubble of white light. So just kind of go through the motions with me. You put a bubble of white light around you. Now, some of you may have learned to do this different. Some of you may have learned to, zip up a golden balloon of light. Some may put angels. Some say the Lord's Prayer. Whatever you're already doing, whatever feels good to you, it's just about you saying very definitely, I'm protected. Okay. And then after we've done that protection, we're going to raise our vibration. So we're going to take a few breaths. You've got that white light around you. You're going to imagine taking in that white light and take a few deep breaths while you're breathing in, you're raising your vibration, you're seeing yourself get a little lighter, a little higher, a little faster, and then releasing out negative energy. Now, one of the things that really helps to connect you with the spirit world is to bring in one of your loved ones that's in spirit. So think about somebody that you have loved that is in spirit and ask them to come along and sit next to you. When you get in their vibration, you start to feel them. So you take a few deep breaths and you get in that kind of meditative state. And then you say, Dad, Mom, whoever's on the other side that you love, say, please come in. And just imagine that they're there sitting next to you. Just imagine that you're talking to them like you would be if you hadn't seen them in years. And you just say, you know, this is what's been going on. Just talk to them, hold their hand. But don't just imagine it, like feel it. Really, really feel that person. Because we connect heart to heart. When we're connecting with spirit world, we're connecting through our heart. So just take a second just to think about somebody that you love that is in spirit. And just imagine that they're here with you, sitting next to you right now. And when we think about them, they do actually come in. That's when their energy starts to come in. So think about somebody you love and think about holding their hand. And some of you, it's easier if you close your eyes. Some of you, you can open your eyes if you want to, but some of you may find the energy connection easier to close your eyes. So just think about that one that you love and imagine them coming in and holding their hand, and then just feel that love. Like smile at them and tell them what you'd like to say to them. And then think about what they'd probably say to you. And just feel that love-to-love connection. And they're in the spirit world. They have that vibration. So connecting with them is going to help you. Okay, now use that, and let's start to raise your vibration. Doing some more breaths, raising your vibration, getting a little higher, a little lighter. And then I actually say, you know, switch me on. I actually ask to be activated. So I say, you know, I'm ready, right? So tell your guides, okay, I'm ready to connect. And I do tap in. If you've done Reiki or any kind of energy heal, you probably tap in. So I tap 3 times on your crown, 3 times on your left hand, 3 times on your right hand, put my hands out. And then that's my signal to say, okay, I'm ready. All right, now spirits start coming in. And then we'll ask those spirits to start coming in one at a time. And then when we finish connecting, we're going to say thank you for that communication and bring ourselves down. We always forget that. It's very, very important. So to cut off your energy, I actually do a crisscross and actually say, okay, I'm coming down, I'm grounding, but whatever works for you. But a definite, yes, I'm finishing, I'm done, I'm now back to normal physical again. Right, the spirits are around us, your guides are around you all the time, but you only feel them and sense them when you're in that high energy. And then when you're grounded and you're normal, they're there still, you're just not going to feel or sense them. Okay, so let me just show you, I'll show you with some pendulums. Okay, so we all have energy at rest. We've got energy that's coming through us, our life force energy all the time. So we should have a little bit of energy. Unless you're dead, you've got some energy running through you. And you can actually see that with the pendulum. Has everybody got a pendulum? Yeah? Okay, so to check your life force energy, we can use a pendulum. So you put it over your hand, either hand, on the palm of your hand. And it should just rotate a little bit like that. You don't want too much, because if you have too much, that's when you're in that woo-woo state, right? So this is your grounded, natural, normal state. You should just have a little bit of energy running through you. And everybody seems to be doing that, right? Sometimes people have a hard time. They're probably holding their pendulum too hard. But I see that everybody's got a little bit, you can see that circular motion. Okay, now, put your pendulums down a second. After you have done your protection, you've raised your energy, after I've given you attunement, your energy is going to be higher, you're going to be on that higher vibration. Hopefully you're going to have more life force energy running through you. That's why you feel that high vibration. Your energy is just going crazy running through you. So I'm going to just see if I can just power up my energy and show you. Sometimes my chakras actually go a different direction when they power up. Did mine go a different direction that time? Usually they're anti-clockwise when I'm at rest, and then when they boost up, they go clockwise, but not always. Okay, so we're going to have a go with you when we've powered up, when you've got that energy going. You're going to test your palm and see, do you feel it, and can you actually test it? And you can have your partner test it for you as well. All right, so I'm going to give you a little bit of attunement. I'm going to do it quickly. I've got enough time to do everybody individually. And while I'm doing each person, you're going to be doing some practicing, all right? So what you're going to do to practice is you're going to go around the room and feel some things. Now you can feel we've got some really high-end crystals and objects you can feel. And then feel some regular things, like do you think this has got a lot of energy? No, this is just kind of neutral, right? So where's that big crystal again? Okay. So if I just hold this big crystal, I can actually feel my life force energy increasing just by holding this, right? So it's going to actually raise my vibration. So if I do both things, where I do the breath work and get my energy up, and I'm holding something like this, it's going to increase my energy.
So I didn't do my calling in my guides or anything, but I did control the crystal. And you can see that already increased my energy, right?
So if I was to, let me see, if I was to touch this, what do you think? Is this going to increase my energy? Yeah, it's actually going to drain my energy, right? So if you put your hand on the trash can, it's going to decrease your energy, right? So some things can actually suck your energy. So I want you to feel different things and go around the room and say, can I feel it when I'm at rest? And then we're going to power up your energy, and you're going to see if you can feel it more. So powering up your energy, how do we do it again? You put your bubble of white light of protection around you. You take just a few minutes. Sitting by yourself is better. So go in a corner, sit by yourself, take a few breaths. Ask one of your loved ones to come in. If that helps you, I find it really powerful. And then take a few breaths and raise your vibration and get into that state. Now, while you're in that state, go around the room and feel things again and say, do I feel higher energy? And after I've given you an opening of the third eye, a little psychic attunement, try it again. See if that's even stronger when you're in that vibration. Hopefully we'll see a big difference between when you're switched on and when you're not switched on. Okay, so we got some things over there. Some things will resonate with some people better than others, depending what it is. So, say you have, we all have issues, right? We all have blocks in our energy field. And that's what actually kind of stops us from being as high and psychic as we'd like to be. So we've got all kinds of, say you're having a real problem at work right now, and that's on your mind, and you're all stressed out. It's much harder to get into that zone because you're so busy and you've got all that going on, right? So just for today, try and let all those things go. But we've all got stuff going on, right? Who's not got any stuff going on? Who's not got any problems? Right? So that is in our energy field. And say you're having an issue with a romantic relationship right now, that means that your sacral chakra is going to be a little bit shut down. So you might find that certain stones or certain objects are going to resonate more with you. It's because they probably are something that's going to power up that particular chakra. So you might find that one thing is really high energy for you, whereas another thing is not such a big deal. So we're going to practice feeling energy. You've all got a pendulum. You're going to practice seeing if your energy powers up in your palm, and we're going to see how high we are. And then we're going to come back. We're going to partner up. Now, I prefer if you start by working with somebody you don't know, because we're going to be doing some readings. And if you know the person, then you're not sure what you're getting. So I'd rather it be somebody you don't know. So if you came with a friend, split up. So turn to the person next to you. And if you know that person, turn to the person behind you. So pick a partner. We have an even number? Okay.
All right, so that's going to be your partner to start with. We'll do some moving around and stuff. All right, so I'm going to do a quick attunement on each of you. It doesn't really matter who goes first, but before your attunement, go work with Patricia. That's my dear friend from Good Juju Company over there. She has the Good Juju T-shirts, and she'll help you feel some energy. So you go in the room by yourself. Now, another thing I'd like you to try. When you're in that high energy state, it's easier to hold it when you're by yourself and in your own little zone. And when you start chit-chatting with people, it becomes a whole lot harder. So you can try it. Try chit-chatting with somebody. And the thing is, that person you're talking with is in the physical zone. And you're trying to hold the energy up here in the spiritual zone. And then your friend is down here in that physical. And so it's hard to keep the energy. But try it. See if you can do that, because we're going to have to try to balance that when we're reading somebody, because they're in the physical world and you're trying to keep that energy in the spiritual world. But it is a lot harder to do that. All right, any questions? No. Okay, and then before we start, what did you get in your box? Did it give you a clue of what things will help you? Who wants to share what they got in the box? A dragonfly. Okay, you actually see you see flies and dragonflies and butterflies. They're actually people in spirit that are showing you messages. So what they're saying is you're going to get more like a visual message. They're going to show you something visual, really just to say, hey, I'm here. What did you get? Okay. It's a Vogel crystal. It's like a wand. Okay, so it just means that you're going to be working very well with crystals. If you've got something like that at home, that'd be great. If you've done any Reiki or healing work, that's actually for extracting negative energies. So they may also be drawing some blocks of negative stuff out for you. Okay, who else want to? Okay, Palo Santos. Wow. So Palo Santos is clearing negative energy. So what they're saying for you is do a little bit extra protection, right? So you've got some health issues going on. We want to do a little bit, before you do this kind of work, make sure that you're extra protected. And Palo Santos is a wood that you can burn that is really good for cleansing and purifying the room. Lady in the back? Sweetgrass. Okay. Very similar thing, right? Palo Santos is for clearing the energy, and then a sweetgrass is actually to bring in the Native American spirit. So you've got a lot of Native American spirits around you. And I know I've done work at my ranch where we don't have any Native Americans. We don't have any sweetgrass. We have lots of Native American spirits. But we did some work at my house at the ranch, and all of a sudden everybody could smell this really strong smell of sweetgrass. It's like grass, but a very, very distinctive smell. And it was like, wow, that sweetgrass you have growing here is amazing. I'm like, yeah, but we don't actually have any growing here, right? So that was all the Native American spirits. So your Native American spirits are coming round, and your main guide is Native American. Yeah. A whistle. Okay, so sound, right? A lot of clairaudience are going to come through, and sometimes you'll hear like a high-pitched noise in your ear. That's usually angels. When it's really, really high, it's a very high being. So when you hear a kind of a little whistle or a tingle in your ear, that spirit's coming through. Okay, anybody else got a box? Not sure? Yeah?
I got a wooden coin with a gold star.
Okay, well, they're saying that you're a bright star that hasn't come out yet. People haven't realized how amazing you are. It's like you have all this potential, but it's hidden. It's kind of hidden in a kind of a plain wooden coating, but you've got this amazing star that's about to come out. So believe in yourself. Okay, so the sword is your spirit guides. You've got a lot of powerful past life stuff. So definitely the angel Michael around you with the sword. So that's about protection. So I don't know if you need a little extra protection with what's going on right now. It's okay. So I guess that's the sign from Angel Michael saying yeah. So it's almost like you're the one protecting everybody else, but don't forget about yourself. You need protection too. And the feather was also from Angel Michael. So I feel like Angel Michael comes with hordes and hordes of angels. So for some reason, they're really putting a lot of protection around you. And also when you do this work, make sure you do that. Okay? Crystal. Yeah, so you know, you really resonate with crystals. What kind of crystal was it? A clear one, yeah. So clear is for really for every kind of work that you do. Metatron, okay, well those are, do you see lights in the sky? Are you very connected to ETs? Yeah, because that's a very higher extraterrestrial being that's coming down and working with you. Yeah, so, and sometimes when you have that, you feel like you're a little odd, like you don't fit in with your family, you feel like you know things. They're very, very powerful beings, but sometimes you feel like you don't fit in. It's because your guides are very, very powerful. Yeah, purple too. Purple for you, a lot of Egyptian energy around you. Okay, so they're just sending you a lot of love and strength right now. They're saying you've helped out everybody else, and now they're sending a lot of love and strength to you. And actually, when you're doing this work for other people, they're going to be healing and working on you at the same time. When you do this work for other people and you're connected, it's going to bring you a lot of joy and help you too. And so they're saying that for all of you. When you do healing work on others, you're actually healing yourself. When you're reading others, you're getting that slice of that energy, that divineness that's coming into you as well. Did you give me yours? Okay. So they're showing me for you that you have a hard time speaking up, right? You've had a hard time, especially with men, being able to speak up. But it's going to affect you. They're talking about it in the psychic stuff because you get great messages, but you're so afraid to share it. And there's a couple of others that are saying that too. Just have a go today. Just say, I don't know, I feel silly. I don't know if I get it. But we're all beginners. There's going to be a lot of people saying, I don't know. That's the hardest thing when people say, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think you get it. Sometimes a person doesn't know. Sometimes they'll go home and then they'll call up later and say, well, you said this, this, and this, and I didn't recognize this person, but I went home and I talked to my mom, and that's exactly right. So you have to just be a little confident, especially in this class, just say it, just blurt it out, and just allow yourself to be wrong. Allow yourself give yourself a break today. If I get something, I get something. If I don't, I'm not worried about it. Anybody else? Did I get everybody? Little ballet, yeah, yes. She got a little jewelry box with a little ballerina. They're saying be playful, have fun, don't take it too serious. The more fun you are and the more you get out of your head, the easier it's going to be. Don't try too hard. Same thing. Okay, wonderful. So I'll take you one at a time, whoever wants to go first. And Jennifer is going to help. Jennifer's very in tune with the crystals. Patricia, she's very in tune with them, so they can, work with you. And if you find something over there that you is really raising your vibration and you really like, just borrow it for the session and come back all high energy. Yeah. Okay, so I'll set up over here and we'll just do quickly one at a time. So you guys, the rest of you can get up and kind of mull around the room. Go feel different things that are going to raise your vibration, and things that are not, and do it first at rest, so you know what it feels like when you're at rest, not doing anything. And then after you've gone in the corner, you raise your vibration, come back and see if you can feel anything again. And then keep me busy, right? So just keep me lining up. If maybe I can have a couple people waiting here, and I'll do one at a time. So we're going to do some readings now. So if you don't have a partner, put your hand up, we'll find your partner. Did you have a partner but you lost her? She's gone? Okay. All right, everybody else got their partners together? All right, they're still busy. All right, everybody got a pendulum? So go back to that there and let's see go back to those ladies and see who you're going to partner with. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw you guys in the deep end to start with, if that's okay, right? So I'm actually going to have you try to get as high as we can, and we're actually going to see if we can communicate with your partners, people in spirit, their loved ones, all right? So don't be upset if you're not getting a lot. We're just going to have a go. You're going to use your imagination. You're going to try to see people. I'm going to walk you through everything. But like if you're saying, oh, I'm blocking, I'm not getting anything, just say, what's the first thing that comes to mind? And just don't be too hard on yourself. Okay, do you have a partner? Okay, who wants to be a partner? Sydney, you want to be a partner? Okay, this lady over here. This is my little one. She's actually very psychic, so. All right, so you're going to decide who goes first. Who's going to be the client first, and who's going to be the psychic first? So decide who's going first, who's going to be the client first, and who's going to be the psychic first, right? Now, this is extreme. You may not want to read people and talk to their loved ones. That might not be what you want to do for a career. But just the act of doing this and getting you in that zone, it is going to open up your intuition a little bit more, okay? So if you want to be a psychic and medium, great. But if not, this is just kind of opening you up to the spirit world and just get a feeling of what it feels like. All right, so the clients, you're just going to sit and have a good time. You're just going to sit and relax. And the psychics, I'm going to work with you. Okay, you don't need your pendulum right now. You can put that down for a minute. And then we'll do the other person. All right, so the psychics, we're going to try to tap into the loved ones for your client. We're just going to have a go and see what we get, feel that energy, and see how it goes. All right, so psychics, first we put a bubble of white light around you, or however you like to protect yourself. So just imagine that you're completely protected. We're only working with divine beings. And then you're going to take a minute just to get in the zone, to raise your vibration. Okay, so take a few deep breaths. And then release out. So you're releasing out all the negative. As you take a few breaths, you raise your vibration a little higher, a little lighter. If it helps you, think about a loved one in spirit that can help you. They're in spirit. So think about somebody that's passed and have them come around you. And then take some breaths. As you're breathing in, you're going to raise your vibration, get a little higher, a little lighter, a little lightheaded. And as you breathe out, just release it. Just don't worry about it today. Get a little higher, a little higher. So you actually feel like you're almost slightly getting out of your body a little bit. Okay, and then you can either tap in or you can just imagine that you're tapping in. So we're going to switch on. So you can tap on your crown 3 times, your left hand 3 times, your right hand 3 times, or just imagine, just saying, it's just an activation of I am now tapping in. I want to connect with the spirit world. You may feel your guide coming in. Your guide comes as like a gatekeeper. Now we're going to ask if any spirits want to come in for your client. So just put it out there. Does any spirit want to come in for my client? And just hold the energy. And you may see somebody coming in. Usually they'll come from the front right. See if somebody comes in from your front right. Now you may feel them, sense them. You may be able to visualize them. You may feel like you're making it up. Now some of you have an easier time with your eyes closed, or you can do it with your eyes open. Or you can have your eyes open and then keep closing to check back. Okay, so see if you can feel an energy coming in from the right and the front. Now, see if you can visualize that person. And if you don't actually visualize them spontaneously, think about you using your imagination. You're really not, but see if you can see them. You may not see them all at once, so see if you can see their profile, their hair, what they're dressed like. Now, they may show you a certain feature. If they were known to be heavy set, they'll show you that. If they were known to walk with a cane, they'll show you that. If they were known to be dressed very smartly, they'll show you that. They're going to show you visually, hopefully something that your client will remember. So ask them to show you themselves. See if you can visualize them. Maybe they have an animal with them. Sometimes, animals go to the same place. If they had a little dog in life, that could be there. See if they can show you in a way that would identify them to your client. Now ask them what they were known for. So like their job, their career, their hobby, and see if you can see them doing that thing. So you might be able to see them working or doing something, doing a hobby. See if you can see them in their daily life, what they might be known for. Now, a name may just pop into your mind. A name like it's John, or it's a J name, or it's Dad, or it could be a name or a part of a name. And if you do, don't go searching for that. Don't go looking. If it pops in anytime, that's great. Just see if you can see them working, doing the thing they love, the thing that they're most known for. See if you can get a sense of their personality. And some of you that may be having a hard time visually, you might be feeling or sensing them more. So you may just kind of feel what they're like. And ask who they are to your client. You might say, I am Mom, I'm a friend. Now we're going to ask them how they passed away. Now, as soon as you ask them how they passed away, tune into your body. You may all of a sudden feel yourself falling forward, like you're dizzy, like you had a stroke. When you say, how did you pass away? You may feel a tightness in your chest. It might be a heart attack. You may see something quickly, like it was an accident and something coming across. When you say, how did you pass? See if they can give you an identification. Or they may say words to you. You may hear words or thoughts. Or some people even see like a ticker tape with writing on it. And what's the message? Is there a message for your client? And the message may simply be something about like, I love you, or everything's fine. Or they may have a specific message. And some people are shown items that they would recognize, like maybe they're shown roses that mean something to you. Shown an object. Okay, now, by now, it may be harder to hold that energy. These people have to come in, they show you as much as they can, and then the energy starts to drift off, right? So if their energy is drifting off, just say, is there anything else? Anything else I should know? Anything else I can get about you? And then their energy may be gone. Okay, and let's ask if anybody else wants to come in. Let's ask if there's another energy wants to come in. You may have another person wanting to come in. Again, they'll come in. Usually they come in on the right in front of you. And do the same thing again. See if you can visualize them. And if not, use your imagination. What would they look like if I had to guess? If I had to make it up, what would they look like? You're not really. And is there anything identifying about them? If they had a health issue, you might be shown that. Can I see what they do in life, what they do for work or living, or how they would know them? And then ask, what is the situation with the client? Are they a friend, a relative? How did they pass away? When you say, how do they pass away? Tune into your body. How do you feel? It might be a health issue, and you'll feel it in that part of your body. It doesn't really hurt, but you'll feel a tingling in that part of your body. So if they passed from liver failure, you'll feel it. If they had an issue with their legs or hips, maybe they didn't pass from that, but you might feel that. Not painful, but you may just get a sense of it. Or they may tell you, you may hear it. Any message for your client? Any other information? And then they probably pull back already. Your energy can only stand so long. So you thank the spirits that have communicated with you today. You thank them very much. You thank your guides that's working with you. But let's bring ourselves back down. And then bring yourself back down, disconnect your energy. And now just share with your client. Now your client may give you a little bit of insight, and then you may be able to get a little bit more information for them. So tell your client what you got. And then just be brave, because I mean, your client may not recognize it. And you know, it could be, sometimes people pick up for other people in the room behind them. And sometimes they'll pick up a guide that they don't recognize. So just say what you got and just have a go. See what you got if you got two people. Okay, how did you guys do? Was that very interesting? Yeah? You did a reading on her? Yeah. Okay, we're going to do the other person now. Okay, when you're ready, let's do the other person. Okay, we can finish up in a little bit, but let's want to make sure we get everybody else in. All right. So now the other person's going to be the client, and you're going to be the psychic. So I'll walk you through. All right. So psychics, just quieten yourself. put your white light around you. So psychics, put your white light around you. Take a minute, just raise your vibration. Breathing in, getting your vibration a little higher, a little lighter, releasing out all the negative stuff. And then invite in a loved one that's in spirit to come and help you today, if that helps. Raise your vibration, get a little higher, a little lighter. Release the negative stuff. Till you're really ready, you're up there. And then you're going to tell your guides you're ready. So you just either tell them or you can tap in. Three taps on your crown, 3 taps on your left hand, your right hand, and put your hands out. Just simply telling your guides, I'm ready. And now, would anybody from the spirit world like to come in for my client? And you're going to ask spirits to come in. They might come in from the right. And we're going to ask anybody that wants to come in. And you're going to start to see if they form in front of you. Now, you may spontaneously see them. You may have to really use your imagination. You may think you're making it up. I want to see if you can see that person visually. And if you can't see them all at once, see if you can see their profile, maybe their hair. And they're going to show themselves familiar. You know, they're going to try to identify themselves. So if they were very tall, if they had one leg, they're going to show you that. If they walked funny, if they wore glasses, they're going to show you that. If they had a little pet with them, they might show you the animal that's with them. Get a sense of who they are. If you get a name, it may just come, it may just pop into your mind. Don't worry about getting a name. Don't try too hard. Just allow the information to come to you. And don't go searching. How did that person pass? Now, when you're asking how they pass, just feel how these images come over you, and just feel and sense your body. Your body's going to show you. So if they pass from an illness, you may feel it in your body. So if it was an illness in the chest, you may feel a tightness in the chest. If it was a stroke, you may feel dizzy, disorientated. You may feel like you want to fall forwards. And ask what this person did for a living, how you would identify them, what they would be known as, like if they had any hobbies, what's their relation to your client? Is there a friend or somebody in the family? And do they have a message? And the message may just be very simple, I love you, I'm fine. Or they may have a message. And then their energy is going to get weaker and weaker. You're just going to find it harder to be able to communicate. So ask if there's anything else, and as their energy starts to dissipate, say thank you. And then see if anybody else wants to come in. See if there's another person. Usually they're standing in line, and see if there's another person that wants to come in. And if another person comes in, and then do the same thing with that person. See if you can visualize them. See if they've got any identifying factors. Ask them how they passed away. When you ask them how they passed, tune into your body. It may be sudden, it may be a health issue. Do they have a message for your client? Anything else you want them to share with your client? And then their energy will start to pull off. So when their energy starts to pull off, say thank you. You want to thank the spirits that have worked with you today, the spirits that have connected, and also with your guides. And then you can pull your energy back down again. And then you're going to quietly share with your client. And this is hard. You're going to be thinking, I don't know, this is crazy. Remember, this is the most difficult, right? If you can get anything on this, then the other part's going to be a lot easier. So just go blurt it out, say what you got, and see if they recognize anything. Okay, was your partner amazing? Tell them, give them a little bit of confidence. Often you think, oh, I'm making this up, I'm not very good, and the only way you can tell is to keep practicing, and people will be the ones that tell you, and that's really only how you can get confirmation. All right, the next thing, we're going to play musical chairs. I'm actually, you're going to be out because I'm bringing in Handsome. Play musical chairs, so let's move around. One of you stay put, the other one move around, just so we get a different partner, so we're not always working with the same person. You want to work with this lady? Oh, amazing. Okay, so I'm going to have Dean. Can you switch with the gentleman here? Can you guys switch? So we're just going to have a switch it up. Now we're going to do something a little easier. Okay, now we're going to learn to read each other's energy patterns. So we're going to learn to read cards. Any of you ever done cards, tarot cards or blessing cards? Okay. We've got the youngsters in the class of the experts here. Okay, so these are visual tools, right? So when somebody comes and asks you about their love life or their career, you're going to tap into your guides and you're going to ask them. So if Hanson is reading for this lady here, he's going to be talking to his guides, and his guides are going to be giving him the information of what she needs to know, right? So you're going to be talking to your own guide, and you're going to be asking, you know, what is it, what's the information that my client needs to know, right? So it's easier if the client at least gives you an area to look at, because if a client just comes and says, oh, well, just read me, you don't really know whether, even if you get a message, you don't know whether it's about the love life or whether it's about their career. So it's easier if they pick one thing at a time, like either a specific question or an area at least, their career path or the love life or something. Okay, and then you're going to tap into your guides and you're going to ask for the information they give. Now, sometimes you'll just right away get some kind of intuition, some kind of guidance. But we can also use visual aids, which really help us. And so cards are really wonderful as visual aids. Now, there's two kinds of cards. There's the traditional tarot, which this is one of the most popular ones, the Rider-Waite one. Right? So this is like a deck of playing cards. It has 52 cards. It has major and minor arcanas. And each card has a specific meaning. Well, you'd have to kind of learn the meaning if you were going to use these cards and go with those meanings. So for instance, if you did a reading, if I did a reading and Hanson asked me about his career, and I picked this card here, I know that this card means going out in a big way to a bigger field. So this means that your career is going to be reaching a lot more people, going overseas, and I would actually guess that you're going to go to some Arabian country, somewhere you're going to be doing some healing work in your future, right? That's because I have actually learned what each one of the meanings of these cards is, right? But if you've not learned the meaning of the card, then you're just going to go off, what does that particular card mean to you? When you look at that card, what would that mean to you? Let's pick another card for, let's pick this for Patricia's career. Okay, well, she just got the best card in the deck for career here, right? Okay, this is basically the Ace of Swords, the swords. This is the most powerful business card. So this is success and power. So this is definitely, you know, a fantastic one for business. But if you didn't know the actual 52 cards and you hadn't learned them, you'd have to look at that and say, well, what did that mean to me? Now, there's different versions of the tarot where they're drawn with different images, but they're basically the same 52 cards. Or you can use what they call blessing cards. The blessing cards are a little bit different. They don't have a set number of cards. They could be any number of cards, and they don't have the same characters. And so, say we asked about Ava's health. And the card that I get here has a word on it, and the word is miracles. And there's a picture of an angel with a light. So I would look at this and I would ask my guides, okay, I'm asking about Ava's health, and I got this card and it says miracles and has a picture of angels on it. How do I interpret that? And I would say she's got angels working on her, and her healing is definitely in progress, and they are creating miracles. So my guide gave me this card so that I would read it and interpret it. Right? Now, you could pick up the same card and you could have a different meaning to that card. This one's pretty straightforward, especially since it's got words on it. I recommend if you're going to buy yourself some blessing cards, ones that have a lot of things going on in it. Even though I know the meaning of this particular card that we picked for Hanson, which is about expanding, going to other areas of the world. One time I picked this card up, I might look at this, the dress, which made me think he's going to the Middle East to do healing work. But another time I might pick this up and I might look at the landscape. I might look at the mountains. I might see something else in this picture. So if there's a lot of stuff especially going on in the pictures, your eye might be drawn to one thing or another. So even though the tarot cards have a meaning, it's actually got many, many different variations of that meaning within the cards. And you'll see a lot of people take the book, look up the book, and look up the meaning, right? If you do that, your guide knows that you're actually going to go look up the book and look up the meaning. But what is much better to do is just to say, what does it mean to me? This is your guide is showing you, and they want you to look at that picture. What's the first thing that jumps off that picture? What's the first thought in your mind? Forget the book. Forget what somebody else has written. This is your guide giving you a visual aid. You could also do this with a bowl of water, with a crystal ball. And what you're doing is you're looking in there for shapes. So as you say to your guide, give me some advice on what my client would like to do with his career, you look at the images that you're getting coming out of a bowl of water or coming out of a crystal ball. The blessing cards are easier because they're much more specific and your eye can be drawn to certain things. But don't worry about what the actual meaning is. Don't worry about what the words are. Don't worry if it's got a specific thing. There's no right or wrong. It is your guides inspiring you and working through you to give a message. And the more you can kind of be in that flow and stay in that energy, you're going to get a much better, clearer result than taking yourself out and going, okay, let me get the book, let me read the meaning. Because you're then disconnecting yourself from the energy. So we want to stay in the flow, and we want to just kind of go with the first thing that comes to mind. So again, I'm going to walk you through. We're going to take turns. The client's going to decide a specific area of the life or specific question. And as we go through this, the first thing we're going to do is just ask our guides. They may just tell us. We may just start getting messages. And then we're going to come around with some cards. Usually the client picks the card and the reader reads the card. Doesn't really matter, but we'll do that. As we come around, you'll choose a card. I'll bring some different decks, and the reader will read the card. Some decks you may really like, some you might not really like as much. But they're just simply to just give you a visual to talk to your guides and give you a little bit of information. Okay, how many of you used pendulums before? A few of you, okay. Have you all got a pendulum? If you don't have a pendulum, put your hand up, we'll get you a pendulum. Okay, the pendulum is another tool for talking to your guides. You can do a whole reading with a pendulum. You can get the information from your guide, and then you can ask your pendulum yes/no questions. So you hold your pendulum like this, just loose, and you say, give me a yes. And that happens to be my yes, backwards and forwards. Right, but yours might be side to side, round and round. Okay, thank you. Give me a no. And mine happens to be counterclockwise. But yours might be backwards and forwards for yes, side to side for no. Thank you. Once you determine what your yes or no is, whatever you pick up, whether it's a real pendulum, whether it's a pendant, whether it's a rock on the end of a string, car keys, doesn't matter, that's your yes and your no. So as you're doing a reading, you may decide you'd like to check with the pendulum. So you can say, well, I'm kind of getting the message that he's going off to the Middle East to do some healing work. Is that true? Oh, I got a big yes. Right? You might get a little yes. You might get a big yes. Or you might get a no. Or if it bounces up and down, ask another question. You're not quite asking it right. Okay, so I'm going to leave it up to you when you want to try your pendulum and ask, is that correct? Am I doing that right? Or let's say you get into a career and you say, okay, I'm going off to do some healing work. Am I doing that when? Okay, and that's a very good thing you can ask the pendulum. When am I going to do that? And everything's yes, no. So is that within this year? Is Hanson going off this year to the Middle East? Yes. Is he going for at least 3 weeks? No. Is he going for at least 2 weeks? Yes. So you can use your pendulum to hone in dates and time, okay? All right, so I'll walk you through it. So the client, tell your psychic, what is your question? A specific question or at least a direction. So choose either love life or career or issue you have. All right, you ready? So the client, you can just relax, have a good time. And the psychic, I'm going to walk you through this. And then maybe my little fairy helper at the back could hand out some cards. All right, so as you start reading, we'll be handing out a few cards. As they come around, the client can take a card. I'll bring a few different decks. Maybe I take one from each deck that comes around, and then the reader will read it. All right, so psychics. Wait till Okay, psychics, put your white bubble of white light around you. Just kind of relax, get in the zone, raise your vibration. Raise your energy a little higher, a little lighter, until you're ready to connect in with your guides. You can do the tapping if you like, or just ask. And it is harder to have your eyes open and chat with your client. You may just once in a while just have to keep going inside and checking in for more information and then coming back. But whatever, you'll find that natural balance. All right, so you're going to ask your guides, my client would like to know, and what's the first things that come to mind? What's the first thoughts? Just ask your guides, what's the first things that come to mind? All right, now you can quietly share with your client what was the first thoughts that came to mind, and you'll keep tapping in. Clients, go ahead and give them a little information. Well, yeah, that makes sense, but I'm not sure about this. And we're going to keep going like you're doing a reading, and then the cards are going to come round. So as the decks come round, choose one card from each deck, and then the reader can read these. So as the cards come around, the clients can take one card from each deck, and the reader will read them. And this is just to help the reader. So the client takes a card from each deck, and the reader reads them. It doesn't matter if it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Client takes a card from each deck, and then the reader reads them. Okay. So one person, the client should take the cards as they come around. Just take one card from each deck as they come around, and then give those to the reader. And the reader will read those. He can read them in order, or pick the ones that they like. Some decks will really speak to them, and some they might not like as much. So reader, you're going to look at the cards. What is your spirit guide telling you? So regarding the question that your client asked, you're going to look at these cards. What does it mean? How can you answer that question using these cards? You can either use them all at once or pick the ones that make sense to you, or read them one at a time, like in order. I would read one at a time. Okay, try the pendulum. So you can use the pendulum to confirm the answers or to ask questions. So some of the stuff you're telling them is going to be just straight from intuition, from your guides. And the cards. Now, you can get a little bit deeper, a little bit deeper. If you answered the question pretty quickly, you can ask them if there's anything else and go ahead and go to a second question. If you've got through the question pretty quickly and you think it's completely resolved and you've got an answer, you can ask another question. But normally it takes a while because you've got to answer that and go a little further. Make sure you use the pendulum. So the cards are for the reader. It's the guides are telling the reader what to interpret from the cards. And use your pendulum. Make sure, see if you like using the pendulum. Even just to confirm what you've already said to them. So I'll check this with my pendulum, see if I get a big yes on that. Or if there's a timeline, sometimes the pendulum's good to give you when it's going to happen. Okay, and then on the card, make sure you don't just read it. Say, what is my interpretation, okay? So don't just read it. You have to say, okay, what comes to mind? Like when I look at it, what comes to mind? Lose more of your intuition. Okay, we'll give him a question next. Just give him two. It's fine. Okay, so finish up. Make sure you've given them some positive answers here. So if it wasn't completely positive, tell them how they can change that, how they can turn that around to make it positive. So if you read them and you got them some information, but they didn't really like it, then just explain to them, what's the message to help that. All right, so I'm going to guide you through switching. All right, so finish up. Let's collect up the cards. And now we're going to do the other person. Okay, so now the other person has to think about what they would like to be read. Okay, so Hanson's saying,
So she asked the question, and the cards that came were so perfectly matched to her question.
isn't that amazing? Why? Because your guides know, right? Whether she pulls them out of the deck or whether I hand them to you, the guides are going to bring you the cards that are good for you to read, because it's you that's getting the message to give her.
But the answer was so clear too. It was just amazing.
Well, the answer being clear, that's more about you being open and having the intuition, right? Because some people get the cards and they're having a hard time with it. So when they're really clear, that's a really good connection between your guide telling you, and you look at that picture and you're like, wow, I know exactly what to say. Okay, we're going to do the other person. So tell the other person, the new client, tell them what you would like to know about. Oh, we haven't started yet. Oh, sorry, we haven't started yet. Okay, so new client. Hey, you wanna join in? We can get you a partner. Sydney. Okay, so decide who's reading who. Client, tell your psychic the question that you'd like to know about. Are we ready? We're going to ground. Clients, you can just relax and have fun. Psychics, you want to ground yourself, put a bubble of white light around yourself, make sure you're only working with divine beings. It does take a little bit of concentration to get yourself in that zone. If you were doing a session, honestly, you'd do like an hour meditation in the morning before you start doing this. Well, if you had time. The more you can do, the more you can get in that zone. But we're doing it quickly, okay? So just white light around yourself, center yourself, take some deep breaths, raise your vibration, and release out all the negative energy. If you have a loved one in spirit, ask them to come and help you with this. Feel that connection, that heart-to-heart connection. Raise your vibration, get yourself a little higher, a little lighter. And then when you're ready to tap in. You can either tap physically 3 times on your crown, 3 times on your left hand, 3 times on your right hand, or just tell your guides in your mind, I'm tapping in, I'm ready now to connect. Now you know the question that your client wants to know. Let's ask your guide. Your guide will come in. You may feel them coming in from the right. You may sense them being there. Now just put it out to your guides. My client wants to know about this question. And then just sit for a minute and allow the messages to come through. Okay, now you're getting intuition from your guides. And now you can start sharing that quietly with your client. Now, it's hard to hold the energy. You're going to keep kind of checking back with your guide. If you need to pull back, close your eyes and talk to your guide, that's okay. Or if you keep your eyes open and just kind of space out into yourself, talk to your guides, and then share the information. But go ahead and start sharing. And clients, go ahead and you can tell them, yeah, that's right, but when am I going to do that? Give them a little direction. We're first going off intuition, and then we've got some cards coming round. So as the cards come round, clients pick a card, one out of each deck, and give them to your reader. Clients pick a card, one out of each deck. Clients pick the card, one out of each. If you were doing a session, you'd be shuffling the cards. The client would pull them out of the deck, and then the reader reads them. These cards are for the reader to look at to kind of get a little bit more information. So client pull the cards, and then the reader is going to read them. The cards are a visual aid. So you may have just the intuition, but the cards are going to help you. Those are your guides, giving you a little bit deeper information. So you look at those cards and you say, okay, what does that card mean to me related to this question? So readers, you're going to be using the visuals from the cards to give you more of a clue of what to tell your client, but a lot of it's just coming as information. You're just seeing visuals in your mind's eye, you're hearing things. And then check with your pendulum. So the client picks the cards and then the reader reads them. All for the same question, yeah. So all cards are still for the same question? First question still. Are you the reader? Okay, so you just get those cards.
But I can pick any one I want to.
And you can pick whatever one you want to read from, or all of them. Whatever you feel gives you guidance. Okay, so the pentacles, if you knew the meaning, that would mean a great abundance of money. Pentacles are money, but if you're talking about love, it would be love. But you have to really look at the card and say, what does that mean to me? Even gift from the universe, I love that. Okay, so that's what the message you're giving. So you look at the card and you say, what does that card mean to me? Even if you have not learned this deck, you don't know this deck, you look at it and you say, what does that mean to me? And you can try your pendulum. Pendulums are good to say, is this correct? Can you give me confirmation? Or perhaps for a timeline, is this going to happen within the next few weeks? Is this going to happen within 6 months? So to use your pendulum, you can just use it to clarify what you are saying. So you can even say, just to confirm, is this a correct answer? And then just do the pendulum and see if you get a correct answer. Or say, is this going to happen before the month of May? Do they need to do more of something? Ask yes or no. Is there a better choice than this one? Ask yes or no. You can actually do the entire reading with yes and no with the pendulum if you like the pendulum. So it's your choice. You can do it with intuition, you can do it through the cards, or you can use the pendulum. Okay, so finish up your reading. Make sure you end on a positive note. So if it was something that didn't sound so good, they didn't have good options, make sure you give them some advice on what they can change. We're only reading their energy right now. If it's not good, we can change that. So make sure you end on a positive note. This is about information to help them. So if it didn't come across as something very good in their life, then tell them how to change that. So finish up your reading, and then we're going to collect up the cards. So finish up your reading. We're going to come around and collect the cards. Finish up your reading, and then when you finish your reading, make sure you disconnect. Make sure you're coming back down to earth. Disconnect your energy. So when you finish, disconnect your energy. Make sure you got your own bubble of white light. Thank your guides that are working with you. Make sure you're grounded. We don't want to take on any issues from the other person. Okay. All right, turn back around. You can turn your chairs around now when you've finished. There were some amazing readers in here. I saw some people getting some fantastic readings. And you were actually opening up your psychic abilities. So even though we were doing specifically reading people, this is opening up your psychic abilities. So hopefully over the next few days, you'll notice you just start to be more intuitive. You start to connect with your guides a lot more. Right, everybody got a pendulum to work with? It's often easier to read other people than yourselves, because when you read yourselves, you can read your own cards, but sometimes we kind of second guess ourselves, right? So we have to kind of trick ourselves a little bit. And sometimes if you ask yes/no questions with the pendulum, and you're not sure whether it's your imagination because you really want it to be a yes, you can write yes/no on a piece of paper, scrimple them up so you don't know which is which, and then say your pendulum, is this the correct answer or this one? And to find out which is yes/no, so trick yourself a little bit. Sometimes we are emotionally involved in our reading, so we can second guess ourselves. When you practice on other people and they give you feedback, that's the best way to find that you are actually getting messages from spirit. And then it will be a little bit easier to believe the messages that you get for yourself. So we can talk to our guides, we can get our own guidance, we can read our own cards. The only issue is that we second guess ourselves and we block ourselves. Right, I want you to think about if you could ask your guides for a very special blessing right now. I want you to write down what would be that very special blessing. We're going to put that out to Spirit. What would you like your guides to bring you or help you with in the next few days? Do you want help with your career? Yeah, write down the help that you would like from your guides. You can put a few things, but it's only one piece of paper, so you are connected to your guides, and they are going to be listening. But let's ask for a very special blessing. There is something very special about writing the energy down or speaking it out loud. Thoughts are very powerful, but when you say them or write them, they're even more powerful. So let's write a little message to our spirit guides of what you would like right now. I'd like some help with my career. And dream big. I want to manifest, yes. Yes. Yeah, I want to manifest. And tell your guides what you want to manifest. I want some help, advice with this situation with my family. I want peace and love in my family. I want to meet my twin flame. I want help with my career, and think big. I want to publish my book, and I want it to go worldwide, and I want it to be a huge success. Think big. Oh. And write your name and your email on there. I'm going to include these in my manifesting group, my little success group. I will be sending you an email. I have some gifts for you this week. March 1st, we're going to, what's that? You can't show me that one. Okay, if it's too private, do another one. I'm not going to read them anyway. It's for the spirits, but. Okay, so I'm going to take your name and your email. I'm going to put them in my success group. March 1st, we're starting a manifesting group. So when one person manifests, it's great. When 10 people manifest together, it's times 100. And we're going to have hopefully 1,000 people in this group, all manifesting the things that we are creating in our life. And so we're going to work together. I'll email you. It'll be actually a daily program on my site. It's completely free, and we'll be all working together to help each other if you want to be part of that. And I have other success programs I'm going to include you in, but I'm going to put this special blessing, give it some energy, and let's get your special blessing out there in the universe. So you're going to have to look for the next few days. You're going to have to really pay attention, right? Because when you've asked for something, you put it out in the universe, and now Spirit's going to start opening the doors. And many of those doors are going to come through friends or people you know, or something you're going to find on the internet, or some opportunity. So what are you going to say when somebody asks you to do something this week? Yes, deal, do it. Just do it. Just do it. Don't ask any questions. All right. Just go into your mind. Just think about your guides. Grab your pendulum. Ask them a yes/no question to do with this. You can ask yes/no questions for yourself. And so what you do is you just go into your mind, you ask your spirit guide, you talk to them and you tell them, but you have to phrase it in a yes/no question. So you could ask a timeline on this if you like. Am I going to be able to accomplish this by June? Am I going to meet my true love before the end of the year? Should I do this in my career or should I do that in my career? Is this the best option? Phrase it as a yes/no. That is your yes, no, and that is your communication no matter what. So as you go through life, you have this guide with you that is helping you, that is going to help you communicate. So as you come across life's obstacles every day, you can use your pendulum, you can use your intuition, you can use the cards, whatever you feel drawn to. These are just tools to talk to our guides. Okay, put your hand over your heart, close your eyes. Just think about your guide being close to you and thank them for being with you, for taking this journey into this life with you, for being your partner, for loving you unconditionally, and ask that they continue to work with you, to support you, love you, and guide you. And feel that tremendous love that they have. They're going to work through you and spread that love through the world. So gently open your eyes and using that love, turn to somebody you've never met before and give them a big hug. Yeah, actually do that. Turn to somebody you've never met before. Go to somebody in the room and share a bit of that love. And so the pen is a gift. Keep my flyer that's got my information on it. Hand in your pink cards and your pendulums. Please hand in your pink cards and your pendulums. Thank you, thank you. Okay, and we have a little free gift. Do you want to give them on the way out or what? Okay. Hand in your pink cards and your pendulums. I have the pens for you. I'm going to take your pink cards and I'm going to put them on my success list. Thank you. I do have on my site a new thing called the Inner Circle. It's completely free, and this is where I'm going to be working with you. I'm going to have videos, audio recordings, workshops that are completely free. We'll be doing different groups. This is where I'll be doing the manifesting group. So it's on gailthackeray.com. I'll have your email, but you can go on there and find it. There's all kinds of free videos, free books, and this is to work with me more closely. I'm trying to get a group together of people that are interested, that are like-minded, and we'll be doing different things. So I'm really excited about this manifesting group. We've done it before, but this one's I know it's going to be really, really powerful. And thank you so much. I hope to see you again. My email is on the flyer, so please, email me. Let me know how you're doing over the next few days. If you're having a good time with your intuition or if you've got any problems or questions. And I think I'll probably get to stay in the room for a couple of minutes at the back if anybody wants me to show them any of the energy gems or anything. Yeah? It's online. It's online. It's on my site, gailthackeray.com. And so when you go there, it just asks you to create your own password. And then there's, right now I have What's Up With Your Life is free up there. And I have some workshops that are free. And then we're starting this 30-day program that'll be posted every day. So there'll always be like free content up there. I do have a VIP Inner Circle, which is $19.95 a month. And that has all my books and a lot of intensive workshops. And you get healings and attunements from me if you want to, but I'll explain that. But the regular group is completely free, so I hope you'll go there and join and support me, and we'll all support each other in manifesting. Thank you, guys. Thank you. And we had a little accident from the heavens. So the angels gave us cracked a few pendulums, so if you'd like to take one on the way out, they still got great energy, so a little free gift. No, it's okay, it's okay. Thank you, guys. See you next time.
interesting on some philosophical level.
What I like about Bashar more than anything is it just straightforward. Like your question was great last night.
Thank you. I asked about time travel.
Yeah.
And he said, you can
Vibration.
travel back to similar instances, but you can never,
Where's the 58 for
you
him?
can never go back to that original point because going back
No. I want the 58 that's over here.
slightly different
There, just got it.
reality.
I'll take care of Linda. You got the other rooms.
Right, and there's no moment just like this moment, impossible to even
We'll
go
change the
back.
batteries out.
But you can go back to a very slightly divergent moment.
But if you taught, I did interviews within 1 week of Stuart Hammeroff and Roger Penrose. And they were totally incomprehensible to a general audience. As
Right.
much as I tried, I got what I was, but they both would say that the block universe, and then it was because Hammeroff said you have to talk to the director of the Time Institute down in Melbourne. And the Institute for Time in Australia is fascinating. And the block universe, everything that could possibly ever happen, every error, everything, it's already there from past, present, and future, which is what Einstein said. That time, yeah. And in the block universe, this is the best metaphor I've ever heard, but it's eerie to me. Everything is there. It's clear to the alpha to omega. And each consciousness that comes into a container body is like taking a flashlight and shining on pieces of the block universe. And then when you pass, nothing has changed in the block universe but that the next life consciousness, which could be even an evolutionary one, your flashlight, you are still doing a flashlight on everything that ever existed.
Which is why you can only see so much at a certain moment.
At a certain moment.
Wherever the
But then it makes it feel like, well, shit, there's no free will at all.
Well, but you know what? Bashar's talking about numbers today. 1, 3, 9. It's sort of what you talked about crop circles at lunch. And if you came to his talk, I would ask April if you can ask a question. I
Actually,
think
you
it would.
should ask a question. I have a
I'll make sure you can ask. If you wanted to come, I'll say, look, we have one of the best researchers, and he claims to be a hybrid. Human, even genetic clone. I mean, of the future. I don't know. One of the Greys and the humans. No, that's been said.
Well, can he go to dinner with us?
Yes.
It would actually, considering it would be really interesting to have you guys. Because Daryl,
Yeah. Oh, yes.
do you think you're gonna need a light?
I'll call you.
Yes, if it's possible, it would help me.
I carry that light with me.
Thank you, Matthew. You really are an angel in human clothing, and I think there are angels in human clothing.
People keep calling me Michael.
You are a Michael.
They keep calling me
You're a historic Michael.
Yes, so. Actually, if I get I should ask Bashar about that. My people keep calling me Michael.
Well, I just did that, like 619, but I don't know.
So right now,
619, 342.
and just so you know, I tried my darndest to get you the bigger screen, and this is what they gave us, but I
Well,
tried.
in this one, it isn't as important.
Oh, good.
This is much more me and a dynamic.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank heavens.
I tried.
See, it's not coming
All day I've been trying to put you in there,
Yeah, text.
because I know how you want the screen.
Yeah.
So this is the one that doesn't need it. How good?
Yes.
And I made a lot of enemies doing this,
But
but for you,
I hope at contact it's going to be large.
I'll talk to you privately about it.
Now, I'm ready to bring this up, right?
Yeah, it's already on the screen over here. So I see you. It's basically you have mirror going on right now.
All right, and
So-
I'm bringing
And I
it
can
up.
give you my email too.
Do you want to do it in two screen or extended?
This here is the section. I looked at it. Takes a while.
Oh, bring it up. Do you live in Mont?
Serena and I
we'll make sure you take your this with you again this time.
Yes.
Or else I'm gonna have to track you down
That's
again.
right.
That was fun out.
So can I text you? Like, just in case I lose you later.
Yeah, it's a 505 900 1475. And just don't give it out.
Of course, I totally.
But I,
Totally
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so good to see you too.
Oh my god, I wish.
Everybody, we're all just. Now I have to do this one.
Well, you're finished at 7:30, but Shar starts at 8. Do you want to do that? Or I'll come back and you can see how you feel.
Yeah, like, why don't we just decide? I wouldn't mind. I've never seen him.
Oh, you
I
enjoy
think it
it.
would be
I
very
know
good.
of him, but.
He's very funny, too.
Yeah.
He has a great sense of, and we
Alright.
put you up
And
there.
so we could all come back. It's right here.
It's down in the big old ballroom
Okay.
at 8 o'clock. I'll come back and get
Alright.
you.
La Jolla.
Oh, yeah.
Across the way.
Yeah, because I think Serena.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right, you guys.
So good seeing you.
God more. Right. Okay, now. I gotta make sure my setup. This should. I don't have audio coming out of anything. It is, but there's nothing coming out in the. Lightning, a white painted wood bookshelf, and then rising straight up at a 90-degree angle. All of this takes place within one